Colton RV creates fantastic memories that will change your life forever. Have you dreamed of getting into glamping in your own RV? Colton RV can help you take that step into the future with a new or used RV. Talk with a Colton RV team member online, by phone, or in person and see hundreds of RVs, from tent trailers to motorhomes and everything in between. It's all about great selection, unequaled service, and low prices. Open late at 2 convenient locations, one in Tonawanda and one in Orchard Park, New York. Now is the time to see the future at Colton RV.
Want to take your camping to the next level? Then why not try glamping? Welcome to RV Glamping Adventures, where you can have a little glamour with your travel adventures. Please join your hosts, Neal and Kathy, as they share RV glamping information, RV park reviews, product recommendations, and so much more. Here's Neal and Kathy.
Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of RV Glamping Adventures with Neal and Kathy.
I'm Neal.
And I'm Kathy, eh?
He really wanted to do that.
I thought it was funny in my head. That was just funny.
I'm really Kathy.
And I'm really Neal.
Yeah. So, it's a cold winter day up here in western New York.
12 degrees today?
I don't know, but we're sitting here
cold.
Taping this, looking outside. We are finally in winter.
Yes.
It finally came.
And there's snow, too.
Because 70 in December is not normal for here.
It was nice.
I liked it.
Lots.
I was really all for global warming for a minute there. But no, reality is really sunk in. And it hurts. The reality hurts.
It's a bitter, cold place.
Bitter cold. So what better thing to do on a day like today than tape a show?
That's what we do.
And dream about getting back into RVing. Because, it's really not that far away. Our first trip,
it's coming up.
I think we're down to almost 9 weeks. So single digits. You have to always plan your trips in a way that makes it seem less than, like in the time before you go. That you can't say it like in how many days.
Not like 63 days.
Oh, you know what? It's 60 days today. We have to.
Oh, we got to get our
just
fast
remember,
passes.
we got to book our fast passes.
Oh,
we will do that after this show.
Yes.
But 60 days, that sounds like a bigger number.
Yeah.
But 9 weeks, that seems like
fantastic.
Next week.
That's a doable.
That's so much more doable. I like to put things in terms that makes me feel better. Whatever helps my sense of reality. But we were just sitting talking today about one of the big plans that we have besides all the travel. We got a bunch of trips. We're booking another thing. I don't know. We got to book a few more things, but we've been doing a lot of booking. But we're talking about a bit of a purchase that we want to add on to our glamping adventures this year.
This is the time of year that we always do a lot of planning and everything between what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. So we think
how we're going to do it.
So we're going to this year we're going to do something different than we've ever done before, since we've been in the RV game and doing all the.
What is it, Neal?
We're getting a towable.
Yes.
Well,
for years, a tow bar.
A tow dolly.
A tow dolly, right. So we're going to talk about that whole topic because it's something that Neal and I keep going back and forth on because it's something he's wanted for a long time.
I'm totally pro on this one.
And then I don't know why I go back and forth on it, but I do.
Actually, I know why you do.
Why? Because I think I do. But go ahead.
Well,
let's see what you think, and then I'll tell you the truth.
This is what I think, and I'm probably totally wrong. But
okay, go ahead.
I think it's because we've been able to. You get used to getting wrong after a while.
That's one thing I say to Neal. Yeah. How does it feel to be wrong all the time?
Yeah, it's awful.
It's not nice.
It's not
good.
I'm not used to it. But anyways, on this one, I think that you don't want one or could see the opposite of having one because all the trips we've been able to book, we've always done without one. I'm
the money person in our relationship, so I'm going to disagree with you.
Oh, good. Yay. I'm wrong.
I know you think it's because we can go to places. The reason we go to the places that we've gone to is because there's transportation, because we don't have a vehicle. And that's because I'm always trying to save money.
Right.
So I haven't wanted to spend the extra on, now looking into it, it was like maybe kind of dumb, but I didn't really want to spend the extra on the tow. I wasn't sure if we needed it. I was still just comfortable driving 38 feet of vehicle, not an additional, how many feet adds on the car and a tow?
It's a small car, so I don't.
Either way, it's just not something I guess I was ready for or comfortable with, didn't want to spend the money. And then I thought about, so many things go through my brain. You guys don't even have any ideas. I was thinking also about the cost extra of like towing. You know, like how that you're dragging that in a sense. So I was, so there's just a lot of reasons, like cost factors. And then I kept finding these places that had, like, we've had some really great vacations, and the majority of them have had transportation for us to go, because we use it as a hotel on wheels. So we want to get to do our sightseeing and really get out. But we've been somewhat limited. Mostly it's worked out. We've done tours. We've done tour buses.
It's really worked out only because you've really thought things through. So
Well,
we've only gone to destinations that we've been able to either take a bus, take a tour bus, take a train, or
Shuttles.
take shuttles, a
public
Disney
boat, ferries, public transportations. I do think that that's something that some of the RV resorts take into account nowadays. Like, I think that they are onto the fact, at least a lot of them are onto the fact that people use their RVs as a hotel on wheels like we do. And
there's a couple places we've been able to actually have a car brought to us. We've done that too.
And leasing, well, that's the other thing. We've leased. We've done a lot of creative things to get around not bringing our own car. And we didn't think at the time, like, I kept, I don't know a whole lot about this stuff, so I didn't want to add miles. We always lease the vehicle. So I didn't always want to add miles to the cars and, like, all these different reasons why we haven't bought a tow vehicle. But we've worked around it since 2008. We've been making it without it.
We've not had a bad trip, let's just say.
No.
So,
but I think I do think that the resorts look at that and they try to find accommodations for that. Even looking when we were booking Liberty Harbor. I cannot say that word. Liberty Harbor. RV Resort.
Harbor.
They bring the tour to you, so you can get on from there. So they are really taking into account. Not everybody has a fifth wheel or a travel trailer. We drive a Class A, so we don't have that car with us unless we tow it. So I haven't seen the need to sort of shell out the extra, $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever we're looking at with what we decide on. So, mostly I'm cheap.
No,
really
you're not
comes
cheap.
down to. But I'm the money person.
You are the money person. I know.
I mean,
that.
if Neal were the money person, we would not have much because Neal likes to spend money.
Well, usually, most days I started like, what we need to get.
You know what we need to buy? Here's what we need to buy.
And that doesn't work. Usually.
And I just give them that look. I like, well, okay. And I love to try to find out how to do it and figure it out. And, I'm not that kind of wife that no, and shut down.
No, not at all.
It's more like, Neal, let's buy it today. I'm like, let's buy it next week.
There's the voice of reason.
Yeah, well, I think every good relationship, and we have a good relationship.
We do have a good relationship.
Is balance.
Totally. And and knowing your weaknesses, and my strength is not money.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that's where we balance each other out. I can budget, okay? I can budget. That's what I can do. Whereas you you can spend, but that's good for me to go why not? I am not that person that's going to say, how many times have you said, go do something extra for yourself? Because I don't like to do that. You
never do stuff like that. No, you never do.
For me and for Neal too, it's always kids first and us later. But so I think we're a good balance.
We are a good balance.
So we'll say that.
You have to have the yin and the yang in some situations.
I want to be the yin and you can be the yang.
I don't care. I'm in.
So anyway, here we're at this point. We're going to not get it for our first trip. We're going in March.
No, when we're going
just for that one, there's just seriously no
Disney
need.
Makes no sense.
We're going to Disney. There's a bus that comes right up to the
There's a
RV.
golf cart and a boat we could use.
There's just no reason to
no.
buy it right now. But we're going to be looking for our next trip after that in the spring. We want to go down to Hershey. We booked that, and I think on that one, I don't know. Are we going to bring it or not?
I don't know. I mean, part of me wouldn't mind bringing it just so we can explore some of that area down there. There's that whole Amish area.
I don't know that we're there long. We'll have to think about that because we're only there for a long weekend. Yeah. So definitely other trips when we were going down to Florida again and we're doing Cape Canaveral.
Yeah, you need a car for
We're
that.
also heading to D.C. and New York. I don't know about New York. Because then, again,
New York
that has
makes no sense.
But there's enough now. I think one thing Neal and I have talked about is we've probably, between just some inconvenience and costs, what we've done before is, if we needed a vehicle, is we've leased at the time with the 4 kids, there's 6 of us, we had to lease a minivan.
Right.
Or rent a minivan. So that can get really, for a week, that could be $500, $600, $700.
Yeah.
So at this point, we really think between inconvenience and costs of what we've done, we probably could have bought 5.
A couple of them. Oh, yeah, we would have easily.
Or an enclosed something.
Yeah, we would have easily made our money on this one.
Yeah.
But And also, I think there's some trips we've gone to, like we've gone to Maine, where it was really hard. Like we were able to walk to the beach, which was fine. I mean, I think walking a quarter mile, half mile is not going to kill anybody, and we were able to do it. So we'd walk to the beach. But then there was like going to like whale watching. We couldn't get there.
There's been some things that became limiting for us. Like we couldn't do the extra. Like I always think about the Maine trip that we did a lot of walking on that trip, and
it was great.
And I would probably do it again, but you can do so much more. Like there was a water park a little further down that we couldn't walk to. Taking a cab for the 6 of us at the time didn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, and then the problem is like, so you're going to get there. Are you going to be able to get a cab back? I'm always nervous of that.
Well,
in certain communities,
going back to the inconveniences is. We've really been limited to with times. There was one time when we were in D.C. and we stayed at Cherry Hill RV Park in
which is great because it has the bus.
Yeah, but so you take the bus from College Park to the metro. So you that's fine. And then you get off and you got to get on the metro to get into D.C. Well, it seems like always like going was fine, but like on the weekends they run on like a holiday or
every
weekend
hour,
schedule.
every other hour.
So if you miss it, we sat there for an hour.
Yeah, at least.
And, we probably could have cabbed it. I don't remember seeing even... Sometimes I'd see cabs. There were not any that day. I want to say it was like a Sunday or something. Yeah. So, that again, it's just been a little bit limiting. So, like I said, it's time. It's just been... I think we've more than... We could have bought, like I said, probably at this point, a really good high-end one or something. Yeah. So do you want to start by just talking about like the kinds? Like we've kind of gone over. It's been like a bit of a research education process for me because this is something I know nothing about.
Well, there's 3 different types of ways that you can tow.
Well, I know now because I did some research.
You did a lot of research.
I didn't know if you were going to tell me. Or...
No, you tell me.
No, we're going to talk together.
I like that. So let's start with the first one.
Okay, so the cheapest one. That'd be the tow bar.
The tow bar. It's flat towing. All 4 wheels are on the ground. It's a kind of a neat thing. You have to like, oh my God, there's so many different products out there for it, and there's a lot of accessories with it as well.
It's definitely been the most common one. Like if I've seen us driving down the road, if I'm looking out the window, whatever, that's what I see more often than not.
Oh, and with everything, you also have to know what your vehicle's tow weight is. What the amount of your ability for your RV to tow, or your vehicle itself to be able to tow a certain amount of pounds.
Yeah.
So to make sure your hitch is proper.
Because there's basically like 3 categories here. Right. So, and you need to take into account, what you're towing. And I think you really have to consider too, because it does weigh down the vehicle a little bit more, thus adding to the gas prices.
It changes
now,
the gas.
we are in a good gas year.
This is a good year to RV. So
that's why we're traveling as much as we are, because why not? It's... But
I was just talking to somebody.
So cheap right now.
Off the subject of
this has got to be really good for the RV market.
I think it's great for the RV market
right now.
I was just talking to somebody. Even when we were traveling a couple of years ago, when the gas was pushing almost $4 up in the Northeast, we still saved money traveling
versus
flying. Right. It was great, and so now I think it's got to even be better. Like
it's crazy.
When I was down in South Carolina, I think it was like $1.68 I saw someplace.
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing. Actually, people are putting this on Facebook. Somewhere even around here, it's under $2.
That's crazy.
We're up in New York, so that doesn't ever happen. I haven't seen. This is like when was it like this before? I don't know. 80s?
No, it was like pre 9/11. I think that was like.
Oh, really? It seems longer ago than that. I don't remember these.
I remember
so low.
we used to be able to put fill up the car with like $15 before at one point. Years ago.
Not the RV.
That would be cool.
No.
But
well, like just as an example, a couple of years ago when the gas prices were high, we'd fill up the tank, and I don't remember the size tanks if I'm even remembering it wrong.
I think we have an 80-gallon.
Okay, so wasn't it a couple of years ago like $300?
Yeah. To
fill it up. Last year, what did it cost to fill the tank?
Oh, I went in there. I told the guy,
with extra money.
I said, go ahead and I don't know how much it's going to be this year. Put $300 out, and I'll see what it is. It was like $150.
It was half.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So what is this year? And this is why Neal and I want to not only because of the gas prices, but what a great opportunity to travel more.
Yeah,
it's cheaper. And like I said, gosh, it's got to be really great for the RV industry,
which is great.
Yeah,
which is great.
So all right, so getting back to the tow bar, most common. All 4 tires are down, like it's just sort of rolling out. So there's, pros to that, and that it's affordable.
It's affordable. It's totally like storable as well.
Fold up and compact.
Yeah,
for
there's
storage.
Some models actually have it so it stays on the back of the RV. it folds flat against the back of the RV.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Which is kind of nice. Or you can just take it off and put it in your compartment. So
Right.
either way.
So how about some cons? I would definitely think that these would be anyway for me. That would be adding on, because I can back up easily.
Yeah.
I can almost 3-point turn that baby, but adding on extra size, that's going to be a spacing thing for me.
Well, also you're not supposed to back up at
right,
the tow bar.
I did read that.
Yeah, you're not supposed to back up at the tow bar because you can wreck the steering assembly of your own car.
Right.
Also, you need to make vehicle modifications as well. A lot of times you have to either put another brake, like a tow brake in. You have to change some tow lights as well. And your car has to be outfitted with a base plate
Right.
to be able to take the tow.
So some are unique that you would have to actually customize it, I saw.
Yeah, and you'd also, for some situations, like we lease our car, and we're worried about putting extra miles on it. Number one, while 4 wheels are on the ground, you're adding miles. Number two, you'd have to make customizations to the actual frame, which might void your warranty. So you got to be kind of careful about those kind of things.
And I think with this, and also the next one we're about to talk about is the tow dolly. You have to think about your car's exposed to the elements, road debris, all of those things. So you have to, it's something we really have to consider because we lease our vehicle and it has to go back the way we got it.
Right.
So we have to think about, an extra expense possibly of adding a flap or so. I'd like to see what the products are out there for that as well. Again, it's just sort of adding on costs, and then I start getting a little nervous because
We know what we need to buy.
What should we buy?
Everything.
We have to buy today.
Let's buy it.
Okay, so that's pretty much it for the tow
I
bar.
think the tow bar is pretty easy.
Okay,
And
tow
then-
dolly. This is the one we're looking most at right now.
I like the idea of the tow dolly. It's not
Well, explain
as,
it. A basic for people who wouldn't know. I didn't know this until
Yeah.
now. So what is the difference between that and the tow bar?
The tow dolly, 2 of your wheels are on the ground. So 2 of them rest on the dolly, typically a front wheel. So you actually can't use a tow dolly for a rear-wheel drive vehicle. So your front wheels are off the ground. They're
What
on
kind
the
of
dolly.
vehicle would that be? I don't like what
A
would
rear
be?
wheel? Like an
Yeah.
old Camaro. I don't know what's rear wheel anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
I
know
think most are
you've
front.
talked to me about that, but I'm like, I don't even know what kind of car
Yeah,
that
I
would
think
be.
some of the older cars, like
That's
you
not
wouldn't
like
pull
a Jeep or something, is it?
No, I don't think. Maybe. I don't know.
So an older vehicle.
I don't know.
Okay.
An older vehicle.
I don't know.
And then just also these things are also called toads and dinghies. And then if you do a search on Google for like dinghies, you'd be able to see like different vehicles that are able to be towed and blah blah blah. So get more of the specifics about the types.
I saw what was a pro, I think, for this one is I think that they're universal to most cars.
True.
I kept seeing that. And I thought about storage because we already store our vehicle. And like even when we're parked somewhere, there's extra parking lots. Typically people have to put their trailers in and all that stuff. So I thought, could you, with some of these, you could actually leave it on site because some fold up.
Right, yeah.
So there's some pros to that, which for me, I'm thinking about like next winter when we go to store this.
We'll just kind of tuck it underneath the RV.
Right.
Is the way I think.
I guess I'd be worried about theft, and I don't know. I think about
If
these.
it's tucked under the RV, I'm sure it's okay. Along
Okay.
the fence, it'd be really hard to get out.
Okay.
Well,
just something to think about.
So I think they're not. I mean, the other part of it too is it saves you from miles on the car.
Yeah.
That's
That's everything.
That's
to
a
us.
huge one.
To me,
That's a
this
huge
is
one.
really the only affordable answer.
Correct.
It also these typically come with a lighting system already attached, right?
And
So you
brakes
wouldn't
as
need
well.
a brake system.
So the car doesn't need modifications. You just drive
And
it on.
I was looking at prices, and I'm seeing anywhere from $900, $1,500. Like I would have thought they were like $3,000 to $5,000. So
Yeah, it's like $2,000,
they're like
I think,
half
tops
of
out.
what I was expecting.
Yeah.
So
And I've actually seen a couple models that they have that.
it's good not to be ignorant. You can find out true facts and everything.
It's so good.
It's so good to know what you're talking about.
There's a couple models that are kind of collapsible too, so they fold down a little bit for storage and fit underneath the RV. So you can go to your site and actually bring it with you.
Right.
Find a place for it. It's kind
I
of,
guess, yeah.
put it underneath the back.
Cons. So it's a little bit more expensive,
Yeah.
but really not that much more than a tow dolly. I
Or
think
no,
I
it is
would
a tow dolly, not much
I'm
more
sorry.
than a tow bar.
Tow bar. I think that I'd feel better. Oh, and the other thing I saw too, going back to the pros, you could take a bigger vehicle on this.
Yes.
You could up to,
Yeah.
we're not bringing a minivan. Our family's gotten slightly smaller, so we don't have to have the minivan anymore.
No,
so
no, but you can put a bigger car in it.
yeah. So the cons would be a little bit more expensive than the tow bar. Again, now can you back up with this one or not?
I think it would be. You can, but it's
got
very
the brake
difficult.
system.
It's very difficult to back
So this
up.
is something to think about at times when we've gotten off some major highway to get gas, and you really have to
Yeah.
think about that part of the travel.
I mean, I've
like
been
how
able
much
to,
room do you have to pull in and get
and
gas?
that's true. Yeah, so you got to like really pick your places and pick
I'm
your.
thinking more of the truck stops.
Yeah, truck stops are best.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
so we'll have to modify that a little bit.
you can't go to like a small Red Apple or something like a convenience store and get gas in there.
We really haven't been able to do that
not
since
for
the
a long
Winnebago.
time. No.
But we've been able to maneuver some typical gas stations.
Yeah.
Like think about some of the ones that we've been to, and you do a little U-turn. That would be really hard.
Actually, you know what I was going to talk to you about this.
We're gonna have to use some apps. We're gonna have to get back to the apps.
We can do this.
Well, you know, like for the larger truck stops and that kind of thing. I would just feel better pulling out for that.
When I drove with Ian down to Orlando and had his car on our next one, actually, it really had a pretty good turn on it. I was really surprised.
Really?
I had a hard time backing it up. I can back up like with a truck. I can back up a trailer.
Neal and I don't think we're capable of like fifth wheels and stuff like that. So.
I would think I would have the hardest time backing up. I had a hard time backing up a U-Haul with a trailer on it. That was hard.
So I think it's just something we're going to have to get used to.
We'll get used to it.
So the other con would be like the tow bar is that, you know, when you're driving along the car, your vehicle's exposed to the debris and, you know, somewhere else I even read as a con, this seems so Debbie Downer, but you know that if there's an accident, two vehicles can get ruined than one. So just something to consider, you know.
But the other part is if one gets
like
ruined, then you have a way to leave the other one. So
okay, I guess that's
just
a good
saying,
one.
you know.
Okay, so the third one is the trailer.
The trailer.
So like a flatbed or an enclosed.
You know, when you go around, you see a lot of different ones when you're on the road. You've seen people just flat tow where the car is exposed, and the one I like is the one where the car is kind of in the trailer, and they're able to put it in there and you strap it down, and it's away from all the elements.
Yeah,
has its own braking and lighting system, and
no mileage again.
No mileage, yeah. And plus, a lot of people who probably use a trailer use it to bring other things with them.
Oh yeah,
as
I was
well.
thinking storage too.
There's a lot of storage in it too.
I was even thinking in the car, there's additional storage to put.
Oh yeah,
bringing.
You can put stuff.
Not that I mean, we've got it down pretty good, and I don't want to add more stuff.
But you can put things in there
if you wanted
to.
I mean, I've seen people put bikes on it, even all that kind of stuff. The cons would be the cost. I mean, when you're talking. You're
talking lots more.
Oh yeah,
and
like
it needs to be
10
specially
50,
licensed
50.
or registered with the state.
Oh, was that the case? You do have to do that too with the most states with the tow dolly.
Yeah,
too.
with the tow dolly.
Just to go back to that.
I'm pretty sure.
Definitely
I
have
think
to for the trailer.
in New York, when we were at the RV dealership, they said you didn't have to.
You didn't in New York, so
Not
it depends
in New
on your
York.
state. So that's something you need to look into. Which is weird, usually in New York.
I know everything's got to be.
What do you
licensed.
mean? It's not New York. Come on,
I know.
That's crazy.
Maybe I'm wrong.
It's a matter of time. So definitely costly, and I've also seen a con is the loading and the unloading of it. I guess it's a little more difficult.
Well, and then also you need to find a place when you're traveling that's going to be able to store it.
Yeah. Like, I can think of some that have the extra overflow parking lots for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, there's that possibility. So those are the three categories.
Yeah.
I think we've definitely at least narrowed down what we can afford and what makes the most sense to us, and that's of course the tow dolly.
And for us, it's less miles on the vehicle. Guy has its own braking system. Because we lease the car doesn't need to be modified in any way.
Right.
And it also should keep the miles off of it. So.
Yeah. So I would really love to hear people's advice and opinions on this.
Yeah.
You go looking, and I saw a lot of, conversation about this. I would really appreciate, especially since we're sort of focused on the tow dolly. But if you've got, I'm definitely not going to cough up for the trailer, Neal. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on.
That's just getting into
because then we can put our golf cart in there.
Again, not making a lot of. You just want a place to bring more toys.
Our helicopter could go in the trailer.
Yeah, there's a funny comic that has that. You have to bring everything with you in the boat and the helicopter and the SUV and all of that. But no, we're not going to do that. We're going to bring it in a little bit more. But I would really like people's opinions and even brands. We haven't even started to look at that. I've seen a couple that one was called the Acme, which I'm sure it's very
great, Wile E.
reliable.
Coyote.
I know, but that's what it made me think of, right? But that really is. It's
Acme.
a brand.
It's a brand.
I'm like, who did that? But it did have good ratings.
Yeah.
So we're just starting to look now at a brand and what has really good reviews on it too. So, but I'd love to hear from people.
We'd love to make an informed purchase, as you know, like please get in touch with us at rvglampingadventures@gmail.com.
And I also wanted to put out there, too, that we're always looking for spots to fill on our advertising for our podcasts and on WRVO radio. We'd love to get you on board. We're really, really affordable. We could tailor any kind of advertising needs that you have to what would work for you and what would work within your budget. We've been working alongside a few other people. I've been doing some articles for some online RV magazines.
Yeah,
we're available for a lot of different
Absolutely.
things. And we just want to keep growing and experiencing and trying new things related to RVing and outdoors.
We've been really lucky. We're growing on iTunes. We're growing on our WRVO and our
Facebook, Twitter,
everything's growing.
Instagram.
We want to thank everybody for listening and all the support.
Yeah.
We really, really appreciate it.
And we love the feedback. You know, we get so excited when we hear from people because sometimes you kind of are talking and you don't know if anyone's listening out there. So tell us you're listening.
You are listening.
Ask us questions. Give us advice. Anything. You know, we'd love to hear from you. You know how to get a hold of us.
Thanks for listening and have a great week.
Fishing, hunting, boating, and the rest of the great outdoors 24/7, 365 on Reno Viola Outdoors Radio. Download the free Reno Viola's Outdoor Radio app or visit WRVOradio.com online.